When you're working with millions of rows of data, pivot tables make it easy to summarize all of those rows into a digestible spreadsheet-like view. To do that, you want to get comfortable organizing the time grains, measures, and dimensions that are on the left-hand side of the screen into the rows and columns of the table. So above the table, we've got our selected fields. I can rearrange these just by dragging the fields around. So for instance, bringing the hour from the rows into the columns, although I don't like all the scrolling that's given me. So I'm actually going to remove that by clicking the X. Or I can change the order of the fields by dragging them within the selection. And I can remove the entire set of fields selected into the rows or columns by clicking on the clear button. To bring fields into the table in the first place, I select them on the left-hand side. So I can select some of my bidding measures here. So you can see I'm doing that just by clicking on the icon that pops up on hover over. And notice that measures can only go into the columns. Or I can also drag them across. So for my rows, I'm going to drag in the advertiser name, the campaign name, and the line items. Notice as I'm bringing them in on the rows, if I have multiple fields selected in the rows, it's actually building up a hierarchy for me. So it's giving me totals and subtotals and the individual line item values. You can also build up hierarchies in the column view. So I have a selection of measures there, but for instance, I might bring in the app name as a column and the creative type as well. So now I have a hierarchy in the columns as well as in the rows. And the first column, or the first set of measures, so the three measures here, these are all subtotals of all the values that are to be found on the right. You might also not actually want to see it in a pivot table structure like this. So you might, for instance, when you're planning to export the data, you might want to see a flatter view. And although we're in pivot table mode right now, we can switch into flat table mode, and that will give me all of the individual line items. So you can see that the pivot table, it's very easy to select and rearrange the data, to choose the kind of data summary that you want and have it in the right format. Pivot tables are great for viewing, and the flat tables are particularly good for exporting and scheduled reports. We'll cover off some other things such as data exporting and how the filters work exactly in separate videos, but this is the core trick that you need to learn with regards to the pivot table. Just being comfortable moving things around between the rows, between the columns, selecting the fields that you want, and being familiar with the drill downs of the collapsible groups.